big hello and welcome to my show UnBound. I'm your host, Mamtaa, a space curated for real stories of people from different walks of life who have sailed through uncharted waters and lived an inspirational life. As they open up about their life with me, I'm sure you will find nuggets of wisdom that will nudge you to live unbound too. What lies outside the territory of a bound up life? Well, it's an unconventional path to self discovery, and my effort is to explore this path with you. So let's unbound together. Today, I have with me an extraordinary individual who is strong and accomplished. Her spirit is as tenacious as her body. With every odd, every challenge that has come her way, the only way she has ever seen impossible is by proving I am possible. She has had the courage and fortitude to claim her spot under the sun, which I think always belonged to her. And I call her the miracle girl, a girl of many pursuits and talent. She is Karishma Sharma. Hi Karishma, welcome to my podcast UnBound.
Hi Mamtaa, thank you for having your show.
I am so happy to have you here. And just to get started and get warmed up, I would just like to begin with pure facts here, just data. The first Indian bikini athlete from the Indian Bodybuilding and Fitness Federation, first Indian bikini athlete to compete at Philippines, first Indian bikini athlete who stepped the biggest bodybuilding stage in Asia, a precision global certified nutrition coach, long distance runner, a lifestyle coach, a motivational and corporate speaker, a health and lifestyle expert, a brand representative of fitness apps and gyms, former Miss Delhi, Miss India bodybuilding. What all is Karishma Sharma? This is like such a tall order of introduction. Where do I stop, Karishma?
Wow, that was some introduction, Mamtaa, and thank you so much for those highlights. And I'm really, really excited to have a conversation with you on your show.
So let's begin. Let's begin with your family background. Just tell us a little more. We would definitely want to know how do you do what you do? But first thing first, about your family, about your background.
So I'm based in Delhi, and I've been brought up here. I live with my parents. I've always been with them, in spite of the fact that I did get married and I came back and all of those separations that I've gone through. I am right now working for a company based out of Delhi, though I've also worked abroad, and I've been working for over 15 years. I'm a corporate slave, you can say that. But besides that, the best way to introduce me is that I'm a very passionate fitness athlete.
Absolutely.
And I live fitness, I breathe fitness, and that's what I look forward to. Of course, we have a day job and all of that, but there's something that gets me going is my fitness routine.
Absolutely, Karishma, and we cannot have any doubt about that. But tell us, how did it really happen for you? Were you always into fitness? Were you a very sporty child? Where is the beginning really?
Oh, I really wish I was a sporty child. I think if I was, I would have been something else today. No, not at all. I was never into sports. I never enjoyed it. I never looked forward to a PE class in school. I must say I was lazy, but I think I just wasn't into any kind of, physical activity as such when I was younger. How did it start? Well, I can't point out one moment, but yes, there are reasons, and probably there are situations that drove me towards my passion. And I would primarily talk about, some painful ones to start with. And that's just all about, what I went through when I was in my late 20s. In fact, early 20s, I got married and which did last more than a year. And then I went through a separation, and then I got married again after 3 years, which didn't even last more than 6 months. all of these major life-changing events actually got me to think that what do I really want to do with my life, apart from obviously building a career? What is something that I truly enjoy? So I would say it was just a mere accident that I'd landed up in a gym one day with my cousin, and that day I realized, like, okay, it's a great place to, be and, wake up and come and work out and do things, meet people. But more than that, what I really enjoyed was a good run. So that was, I would say, the turning point where I started to feel like there is something beyond, studying, beyond, all these goals that any woman would have when she's in early 20s, coming from a conventional family that is getting married and having kids. This was something I found that, yes, I really enjoy. And then there was no stopping. I mean, I started to run a lot outdoors, train regularly. I met like-minded people from, like a certain group of people who could actually just join me for runs. And it was, it all started with very small steps, like I would say like 5K run. And before I knew, I was running like 10K every day.
Oh, wow. And this happened over how much of a period of time? Like, did it take a couple of months, a year? How was this journey?
Actually, it was a few months. And I would say that I progressed really fast, like from a 5K to 10K didn't take me too long. And then from a 10K, I started, looking at half marathons. And from a half marathon, I looked at a full marathon in a span of 4 to 5 weeks. So
oh, wow.
There was a lot of there was like a fire burning inside me, and I wanted to just keep going and not stop at all.
And I'm sure there's been no point of return after that. So what's been your biggest challenge or biggest fear ever? I mean, on your way to UnBound, the life that you're living today, what is that one single biggest thing that you've always feared and you have really gone past that?
Well, I'm not sure whether it is a fear, but because of my major setbacks in life, my confidence to achieve things or things that I really desire, they got impacted. But I know that because of those events, there's a lot that I gained. The experience I gained, the wisdom I gained, and the ability to conquer these difficult situations, that really got me going. So even if there was a fear of failing and making mistakes again, but the driving force was that I can do it. I could see that in my fitness journey was evolving, and it was also very dynamic. I didn't confine myself to runs and marathons. I started competing, which was altogether a different game. Like I started to compete nationally, internationally in bodybuilding. So I would say that there was a constant struggle with my emotions, like my personal pace, but I really channelized all my energy in this area, and then there was no fear.
Wow. See, I call you Miracle Girl for nothing, right? So how and what helps you keep going past any failure, any challenge whenever you face it? And I am sure as an athlete, the pressures are high, the competition is immense, and there's self-created pressure, there's pressure from outside to compete. So whenever there is any kind of a conflict or a huge challenge, what helps you sort of bounce back and go past it?
Well, I would say two things. One is results. Even if you have a failure and you face a failure and it's a very challenging situation, and then you feel like you may not be able to achieve that or conquer or get over, you still learn in the process. And I can see that at that time as well, and still I can see that results show, and I think that gets me going. Even if I have a competition, the entire journey is very fulfilling and it shows some results. And the second thing is, I spend a lot of time having conversation with myself. So even if there is something which I feel is very difficult and there is a conflict going on within me, I will spend time to figure out a way like a way forward, like what I'm going to do after this failure. So I set myself for a new goal so that I don't stop and I keep like progressing.
Oh, wow. That sounds quite interesting. So, conversations with yourself, are these like internal dialogues, or do you actually stand in front of a mirror, or you go out for a walk? Like, how does this whole process happen?
Actually, a couple of things. Yes, there are internal dialogues, and I go for long walks. But I also spend time listening to podcasts, all these like one of my favorites is Abraham Hicks. She's really fantastic. She talks a lot about behavior, law of attraction, how to let go of resistance, how to deal with failures. Sadhguru as well is something I've recently started listening to. I have made that investment. Like I've also in the past, to be honest, taken therapy. Like if I feel I'm not able to deal with a situation, I would seek an external help to sort me out. And it's been fantastic.
So would it be right to say, Karishma, that even as an athlete, you would believe that mental health is the first stepping stone to getting towards physical fitness or a physical health? I mean, would it kind of lay a foundation to you becoming a more committed or a more passionate athlete?
Yes, absolutely. Mental health is the bedrock of everything in your life, be it relationships, sports, work. And I think one got to really spend time and, invest in it. So definitely as an athlete, there's a lot of pressure. And of course, I've done many shows and I haven't won. I've done runs where I have never, there are probably a few where I have not won, So that's very disheartening. But because you need to have a certain mindset, one can keep going with that.
Wow, that's a very, very interesting insight. Tell me some of your biggest vices, some of the internal conflicts or some of your own self-made detractors, self-criticism that you often confront yourself with and then you kind of go past it. Like, how do you deal with those moments when you're too self-analytical or critical?
Wow, so that's going to sound so contradictory to all the motivational talk that I just did. but yeah, we all have those moments, and I think my biggest weakness is that I tend to spend a lot of time criticizing myself or doubting myself, when I can't achieve anything, or even if I'm making progress, I'm very critical about my progress. My coach used to often say that, like, come on, you made progress, you gotta celebrate that as well. But I'm like, no, but we didn't reach that level. I'm constantly very competitive with myself, and it's not about, okay, I want to become like someone else. It's just like, I want to be the best version. So it's been difficult and it has affected my self-worth. My personal setbacks have contributed to my self-worth as well. But like you said, those internal dialogues or enrolling myself into the landmark forum, which I don't know if you've heard about it. It's like a life transformation course. So I've done that, and spending time with like-minded people and who are more positive about life in general, seeking external help. All of that together has actually helped me get through that. And I'm still not the person who would want to stay in that situation for too long. Like if I'm having a conflict, I will not stay in that for weeks. I'm a go-getter, so I want to just get out of it very, very quickly and move on.
The great thing is that you identified this for yourself. Now, for a person like that, tell me, how does it really work? What matters more than in that case is your self, like your own self-examining self or the self-critical self, or is it others' judgment or preconceived ideas about you or your choices? What impacts you more? Is it your own thing, your own criticism impacts you more, or is it others' judgment that impact you more?
I think my own criticism impacts me way more than others' emotions, because to be honest, I'm often told my friends and my family, like, you've got to be really proud of what you've done. You've come really far. You've had obviously a lot of challenges on the way and things to deal with emotionally. But I think it's great to hear that. But like I said, I can be somebody who can really spend days criticizing. So that impacts me a lot more than what others think about me. Because I think what others think about me is no more important, especially when I've taken up a sport like bodybuilding.
Absolutely, absolutely. My next question was that how do you deal with that judgment? You know, being a bikini athlete is no easy job. Like, how did you really dealt with that conditioning, that perception, or whatever came your way in terms of कि लोग क्या कहेंगे या लोग क्या कह रहे हैं? How did you deal with that?
So I think I was obviously very well prepared that, it's never going to be easy wearing a two-piece on stage and, face like thousands of people. I mean, your folks are not going to be thrilled about it, but I think they kind of embraced my decision eventually. I would say that they were, very unhappy, but they just could not understand the sport. So for me, it was to educate them what it is all about. And after that, I would say they really enrolled into my decision and they were very happy to support me. Yes, of course, family outside, like my parents, they were not too happy, but I don't think I ever paid too much attention to that, or I would let that impact my next move. For me, I knew it's going to be like that, and it doesn't matter anymore.
Wow. See, that's really not the case in the majority of the times that we see that if we want to achieve something, what keeps coming or fogging us is our own judgment of, or our own fear of, I don't know, who will say what, how will they perceive it, our own idea of fitting in, which we are so compelled to. So how do you clear that fogginess or that lens, if at all there is any distraction or any disturbance on your way to go and achieve anything that you've set yourself to, any goal, any milestone? So how do you really bring the focus back in life if you ever get disturbed or distracted? Or do you ever get disturbed or distracted?
To be honest, I don't remember any recently that I've got distracted with regard to my fitness journey. Or I've got impacted with someone commenting on, say my social media post, or, what I'm wearing, or whether I competed. I mean, even if I have, got a little impacted, like I said, I just don't pay attention to it. What I've actually learned through, I would say based on my experiences, is that if you actually let others control your life, you will never be able to achieve what you really want to.
Wow.
Way to achieve things is you just don't let anybody control your life other than you. And that's what I try to do. Like I just do things what I can control, and things which I can't, they will not be like within my attention, or I will not be focusing my energy on that.
Wow, I'm sure that takes somebody with that long determination or a spirit or a soul of a steel to really go ahead and say that, okay, I'm not bothered, I can put this all at the back. Having said that, have you ever done any sort of a SWOT analysis, like what's your strengths, what's your weakness, what are the opportunities, what are the threats? Have you ever very consciously sat down and broken it for yourself that, where do I stand in what all areas of my life? And I need to do this because this is my strength, or I don't need to do this because this is my weakness. Have you really ever been very, very conscious about this approach?
I think considering the fact that I do a lot more introspection, of course, I'm very in touch with myself and I know what are my strengths, what are my weaknesses. But, I'll be honest, I have stopped calling them like my weaknesses particularly, because I feel we are obviously a sum of a lot of, traits. And whether I am very, committed or whether I'm very emotional, it's just part of me. So I know, yes, there are some areas that I have to constantly work on. For example, I'm a very sensitive person, and that sensitivity comes in, at work, in relationships. family. But like I said, for me, it's very important that I don't let anything affect me for too long. So if I'm upset about something, I will let go. Like I will let go really easily. So for me, but like, okay, I'm going to sit on this now, this matter for days. No. I need to just keep moving on. And my biggest, I think, strength is that I would want to just keep moving on. And I'm very committed to what I want to do. So whatever happens, there is a distraction at work, or there is something happening in my personal space, for example. I've gone through 2 divorces, but there hasn't been any single moment or even a day that affected my workouts. I mean, I was up and running, doing my things, and I was working out every day. And in 15 years, I have never taken a break from workouts, apart from when I got COVID, and second, apart from the fact when I got swine flu.
That is some inspiration, Karishma. And where do you get that from? Who drives you? What drives you? What's your fuel?
I think my biggest fuel is me. Like I said, I'm not seeking validation. I don't want to become someone else. I just want to be a better version of me. And I think my experiences have made me that. And every day for me, even if it is a small goal, I'll set it so that I can achieve that. Like something new I took up a couple of years back was treks and climbing, and I went for like a 9-day intense course, and it was really intense. I've never done even attempted a summit, but I could actually do that because it was very clear. I'm going for this whole thing, and I'm going to give my 9 days and my best. For me, it's all about just committing to a certain goal and stick to it.
Wow. And what anchors you back to your Zen state, Karishma? Do you get those moments where you just want to be on your own? There is, one peace, one world, a state of Buddhahood. Is there something that brings you in that zone, if ever? Or is there any one particular spot or a particular thing that triggers you back into that state? Does that happen?
Yes, of course. We all have our moments, and I think, we need that anchor. For me, it's always been outdoors, like outdoor runs or going to the mountains, doing treks. And there is no comparison. Like if I go and do a long trek, when I say a trek, like a very nice intense trek or a nice long run, I mean, that's my real anchor. And I'll be back to my usual self and all geared up for my next goal.
Wow, so that's some nature therapy for you. What about movies? What about interactions? Are there things that you watch, that you listen, that you imbibe from your interactions, day-to-day interactions, which influence you or your decision making, or even your choices for that matter?
Interactions, yes, they have. I've met very, very interesting people. When I started my journey, when I started running, I met people who are so passionate about, trail runs and long distance runs and climbing or CrossFit. So those conversations were I felt like I was meant to be them, and they have only empowered me. I think I started my journey really late. I was 28 when I actually got into it. I mean, maybe running at 26, but it got very intense in my late 20s, and that's when I met these interesting people. Somebody I met online, she was based out of the US, and she actually decided to coach me for my first show in Philippines.
Wow.
She really influenced my decision. She really empowered me because she kept telling me, we have 3 months and we prepare you. And I was like, no, we can't. I don't think I'll be ready. And she was like, have faith and I'll make sure you step the stage. And I did that. And I was like, I couldn't believe, she could really make it happen. Of course, I was very disciplined. So, yeah, there are people I really, really value. They've really supported me, including my family. And I think there are very, very interesting people out there who are doing very different things. So they've always been very, very inspiring, for me.
Beautiful. I think it's nothing better can happen if you be blessed with such souls or such, mentors around with you, and achieving what you have. I'm sure it's not possible without a few of them there in your life. Tell us your mantra for dealing with failures and mistakes. So, is there any one quick mantra that or a quick way for you to just snap in and snap out of a failure?
Well, I think I just tell myself every time that happens is giving up is not an option. It's never been an option. Like I said, even in my personal challenges that whatever I've faced, it was never an option. I had my share of sorrows, and I've had my divorces, and I still want to give life another chance. And I have, I've been very open to love and relationships. And I always tell myself, even if I fail, I'm not going to give up, because whatever time I have, I'm going to give my best to it.
Wow, what an endurance. And one big learning that specifically these last 2 years COVID has been for you, and like you just mentioned that you were down with COVID yourself. So I mean, how did you take the whole breaking down of the system, everything coming to a halt, especially athletes like yourself not being able to step out, not being able to move out, that restriction of mobility, not being able to interact or, go out and do what you wanted to do. So what kind of a learning has it been life transforming? Has it changed anything in you as a person, as an athlete?
So yes, as an athlete, it was very difficult in the beginning because I used to really miss my outdoors and gyms, or thinking of going to the mountains for a trek. In fact, I remember the same year I had signed up for a mountain climbing course. I never gave up on my fitness routine. So whatever space, I have, I used to train at home every day without fail. So I used to make use of, little equipments that I have, do body weight training. If I could go out for a run, I would do that, or just walk at home. But it was very important to do something. And one thing I realized that, we live in a very dynamic world. If you want to do something, you will find your way. I got infected, I remember, but 3 days I was really unwell. I know after that I was itching to walk. I just wanted 10,000 steps a day. So you will not believe I only had a very small corridor because obviously I was infected and I couldn't meet anyone. In that corridor, which is barely 10 steps, I covered my 10,000 steps by constant walk. We have to find a way, jump, walk, do whatever. But you got to meet your daily goal. So it was like that.
Wow, where there is a will, there indeed is a way. And when Karishma is there, then the miracles are set to happen. Tell me some gyan, some pearls of wisdom that you have for our listeners. Some few things or one thing that's a must for you to tell them.
I think I kind of cover a lot of things, and I hope that's helpful. But just to sum up, I would say to do something that you've been thinking to do or want to do, you don't need to find or look for inspiration in the external world. I feel your actions, your results or progress should inspire you to do the right thing, the good things. And the fact is that we all know, what is the right thing to do. It's just that we're very scared to get out of our comfort zone. So I would just say that, there'll be different situations in your life, good, bad. Life will knock you down multiple times, but you gotta get up and keep moving forward. And the only way one can do that, at least I've learned that, is discipline. And that's something you can't buy. You just have to build and implement it. So just keep focused, build that discipline, and you will see the journey is going to be very, very swift.
Wow, that's some piece of advice. What are the things that you're looking forward to do in the rest of 2022?
So I have been In fact, I've just got injured, to be honest.
Oh.
Months back, and right now I'm recovering. I have a tendon tear, which is grade 2. I have very limited movement, but I've started to kind of pick up now. So it hasn't been a very great start for me, but I'm still optimistic. I want to get back, obviously, to my runs, and I want to be stronger. So what I've done recently is also that I've signed up a new coach. So my plan this year is to work on my weak points when it comes to my strength, my rehab and all of that. And then maybe I should also look at a competition next year.
Wishing you a very, very speedy recovery, Karishma, and really hoping to see some miraculous things coming from you in 2022. Now we head into our rapid reflex round. Now this is something that you need to answer in not more than one or a few words. So I'd just like you to get set, take a few deep breaths, and we are ready to roll. Are you set, Karishma?
Absolutely.
Okay, so one thing you would like to change about our education system?
Emphasis on health and fitness.
One thing you wish you knew at the age of 20?
That health and fitness is really important.
One thing you wish never existed in the world?
Fat.
One thing you wish which could exist forever?
Just good health. Everybody in good health.
You start your day with?
Lots of water.
Your daily diet includes?
Lots of protein.
And you end your day with?
Protein.
Oh, wow. What do you see yourself accomplishing in next 5 years?
I haven't set major goals in terms of career, but I would say I just want to be a more fulfilled person.
Wow. And what's your biggest weakness, Karishma?
Family.
That was truly being unbound, Karishma. It was some breathtaking moments for me. With that, we come to the end of the show. And one thing that I wish for you, Karishma, is whether or not it gets easier, but I really wish it keeps getting bigger and better for you. So thank you so much, girl. Keep slaying, keep inspiring us. And thanks for sharing your journey with us today.
Thank you, Mamtaa. It was lovely speaking to you. And I'm so glad that we had touched upon different things. And I hope that people enjoy this show.
I'm sure they will. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. I would love to know from you what idea or insight you unboxed from today's conversation. Just drop me a message over LinkedIn or in my inbox, and remember to follow this podcast so that when the next episode drops, you can join me for yet another one too. Keep coming and keep unbounding. Till then, this is your host Mamtaa signing off.